ball shot is a good one to practice because it comes up a lot and a lot of players miss it. You're basically avoiding problems and hitting balls and getting snookered behind balls by going a path up under that 6 ball that isn't quite obvious, and this is why players miss it. You're putting a lot of left on this 1 ball shot, and you're bouncing off this rail and coming up the center table. The center table shot is fine on the 2 ball. That should leave you a pretty good position to get from the 3 to the 4. So let's take a look at the line on the 1. And yeah, that's basically it. You don't want to get too fancy here, and you don't want to come straight off that rail, that top rail, and try to get right on this 2 ball because there's just too many things that can go wrong. It's best to just put a lot of left on it. But the problem is, this is a pretty full hit on this 1 ball, and the fuller the hit, the less likely for the English to take, because the actual object ball takes, all the spin off the cue ball. So you really have to stroke it, and you have to hit it a lot harder than you might first think. So let's go ahead and look at the actual 1 ball shot on the video, and then we'll cut back before I shoot the 2 ball. You can see I came up way short of center table, so I think I might have hit that ball just a little too hard, and it came up in the air after hitting the 1 ball, and that kind of killed the spin and the momentum of the ball. But here I am with a pretty difficult shot. I mean, it's not, it's not super difficult. All I have to do is cinch the ball, but where I was going to just stun it off the rail and get right here on the 3 ball, now I'm going 2 rails to get back in the right shape on this 3 ball. And from the 3, I'm bouncing up off this rail and get behind the 4, and that should leave me in a good position to stun it back out to get a 5 ball shot in that pocket right there. So let's go ahead and cut away to the table, and we'll come back after I shoot the 2 ball. This is a little bit more of a cut than it might appear on this video. And the point is that this 3 ball is going to impart a little bit of right hand English or right hand spin, counterclockwise spin on this cue ball. So if you add more right hand English to this cue ball, you're going to go all the way back up table, and you're not going to like the position you get on the 4. We're just kind of trying to get right about here on the 4 ball and to be able to stun it out. You'll see that I go too far and wind up on the rail, and just like that 2 ball shot, I just go 1 more rail to gain position on the 5 ball in the right position to get on the 6, and from the 6 to the 7 to the 8 and back. And the hardest shot on this whole run out is the 8 to the 9. You'll see it when we get to it. For now, let's just go ahead and cut away to the table. Getting on this 5 ball, or getting right on the 5 ball, is turning out to be a real issue, and I come up short to right about here when I was actually just trying to get just a hair on the right hand side of that 5 ball, and this way I'd be able to draw up into the line on the 6, because I want it to be straight in on the 6 to have a stop shot and have the perfect shot on the 7 to bounce back and get right on this 8 in order to get back on this 9 ball. But I'm forced to just go 1 problem at a time here, although I can clearly see the pattern on the rest of these balls, we're just going to have to take 1 problem at a time. So let's go ahead and shoot this 4 ball, and then we'll come back before I shoot the 5 ball. of players like to, that draw shot is stuck in their head, so they'll draw this anyway for whatever reason. And if the cue ball slides just a little bit, you're going to scratch, and that depends on the quality of the cloth that you're playing on. Yeah, but they do it. And then another thing they do, they like to put left-hand English on this, and the cue ball is going to deflect, so if you don't know a whole lot about deflection, and if you're not real sure on how to aim to compensate for that deflection, chances are you're going to hit this 5-ball too full, and you're going to miss, and you might scratch also, which is really brutal. The important thing to remember here is that you want to be on the right-hand side of that 6-ball, or, it'd be nice to get straight in on the 6-ball, but it's not wise to take the chance in crossing over to the left-hand side of this 6-ball, because then you're going to have a whole lot of trouble getting on the 7 in the right position to get back on the 8. So let's go ahead and move along. By the way, I want to talk a whole lot more about deflection in some coming videos. I'm going to get really detailed into it so people can actually see and I can illustrate what the hell I'm talking about here. It's a subject that just keeps on coming up, and nobody wants to make friends with deflection because they'd rather go out and buy $600 chefs that they're not going to play any better with. I'm sorry, guys. The truth really sucks. I'm sure some of you guys have some of those $500 or $600 chefs, and you're probably cussing me out right now. But yeah, deflection has been around since the beginning of time, and no $600 chef is going to improve your game very much at all. I mean, and that's what happens. These newer players, or these just gullible players, will go out and buy these chefs expecting to play like a pro when they get it, and it's just not going to happen, dude. Anyway, let's quit rambling about that, but I will talk more about deflection in some coming videos to save you guys all that money and to just explain what it is, what the hell I'm trying to convey or say that it is, and how you can use it to actually improve your pool game. Oh, and one more thing, just center ball here. You're just forcing into that route and right there and bouncing off to stay on the right-hand side of the 6-ball. We stayed on the safe side of the 6-ball, and the reason it's the safe side, I mean, the ultimate is to get straight in on the 6 and just hit a stop shot. But I mean, being a little bit to the right of the 6 is also great, because you can just use this rail to get the same exact angle on the 7 as if you had a stop shot. So I'm not quite going to the rail, I'm just pulling it straight back a couple inches and still have the same exact angle on the 7, and that's the agenda, the angle, not the distance. So let's go ahead and cut back to the table and shoot this 6, and then we'll pick it up from there. Getting ready to do the loop back. Now, there's a lot of ways to play these last 3 balls. I'm using the top rail to bounce off of and get right on this 8 to get back on this 9, which is not really as easy as it sounds, but you do have a lot of options here, depending on how you want to play it and what your style of play is. You can go long on this and get on the right-hand side of the 8 and play it 3 rails, which, is kind of unnecessary, but it's a fun shot. If you like to shoot it and you're feeling loose and the crowd is happy, then go ahead and shoot it. A more common way is to pull back a little bit when you're shooting the 7-ball and hold off on your stroke and get on the left-hand side of the 8 to use that left-hand side route to come back and on the 9-ball. That's going to call for a little bit of right-hand English and a stroke. For an even more difficult way, but the fans tend to love it, and y'all know me, I love to shoot it. You can try to get straight in on the 8-ball line and just draw it back in line for the perfect shot on the 9-ball. It's up to you. The point of the matter is we're all a little bit different. We're not programmable robots. There's not one way to do something. And we all, we excel in some things and we're not so great in other things. You should play your style. There's 600 ways to cook a potato. Cook them the way you enjoy. Peace, brother. I'll see you guys after the weekend. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. Peace.